Guru Deva. These are my thoughts after having had a few days to consider, hunkered down here in my beautiful home in Flagstaff, Arizona, with the entire city shut down by the mayor, I think appropriately. She's a friend of mine, and I consider it wise for her to have done what she's done. And, we individually, all of us, need to be sensible and take measures that, in whatever way our personal contribution is to reducing or minimizing the risk of the spread of the virus, we need to be doing. I find it particularly not foreign to me because growing up, traveling with my master, Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, and then having opportunities to spend time in deep isolation for weeks, sometimes months on end, meditating and not speaking. Also the opportunities to reflect, study. These are all things which I think all of us can look at as, rather than a strange obstacle, as an opportunity to enhance greater experiences of the inner self. And the inner self, capital S, is the ultimate healer. It's the source of our immunity. Immunity also has two aspects to it. One is we do what we can to prevent contracting a virus. On the other hand, if we do contract it, we use everything we know to keep our system immunomodulated. That means enhanced, so that we can come through it quickly, and we make our other contribution to the collective immunity, which is individual immunity, by virtue of processing that virus successfully and eliminating the risk of future infection in that wise. Either way, my advice to all is to follow the dictates and suggestions of the public health authorities, and perhaps even to consider taking it a little further. Those of you who know how to practice Vedic meditation, you have an opportunity to practice your technique with a greater and more thoroughgoing fashion than otherwise you would do. Those of you who practice other kinds of meditation besides Vedic meditation, you shouldn't follow that advice without checking with your personal instructor in meditation. But for those who do practice Vedic meditation, it is a policy that if you become ill in bed, you may meditate as much as is comfortable. That means longer than 20 minutes twice a day, and more often than twice a day, as you feel. For those who practice other techniques, different techniques work in different ways. Again, you should check with your meditation instructor before you make any change to your meditation program. For all of us, right now is not a time to become an embodiment of fear. Fear is a powerful immunosuppressant. Fear also causes us to make decisions that are not sound. Fear is actually the enemy in all of this. And, people have said to me, but Thom, the death rate, the mortality rate, the fatality rate of the coronavirus could be as high as 5% or more. To which my answer is yes, the death rate, fatality rate of being a human is 100%. And I say that without any humor intended in it. I say it because there is no human being on earth who's going to live beyond a certain amount of time. The important thing is that, instead of, trying to pretend that we're immortal and that there might be a virus that's going to bring an end to our immortality, we need to face the facts of our mortality and see what it is we're doing in the time that we have. We are, in fact, the cosmos having a human experience. And so while we're having this human experience, to consider what is it that we're doing that enhances that experience to its maximum. We'd like to be able to experience as much as possible heaven on earth, and for that we have to develop self-sufficiency. That is to say, sufficiency on the deep inner self, sufficiency on that quality of being which is the source of our thoughts. For that we need to have regular experience of that deep inner silent place. As meditators, we have an enormous advantage in every way and in every sphere of life, because we can make contact with the fountainhead of pure creative intelligence on a regular and systematic basis. That's an advantage that is immeasurable. Naturally, we are also not invincible or immortal. And it's wise for us to extend our body life for as long as possible, because longevity very often brings also with it wisdom. And our contribution to the evolution of the world, to the evolution of everything, is going to be at least somewhat dependent on the degree of wisdom that we're able to accrue in the time of our body life. All in all, this is not a time for culturing fear, certainly not a time for spreading fear. We have to take care, because it's a biological law that the few lead the many. We need to be some of those few who are not frightened by the concept of a virus moving through the society. We do what we can to not spread it and to not get it, not to contract it. But if we do contract it, then we need to use everything we know to come through it successfully and freely. And I have every faith that we're going to have many experiences together. I'm planning to hold for the Vedic meditating world, to hold online group meditation sessions and events. And so continue to, as they say, watch this space, because we have plans that are evolving even as I speak to increase the coherence in the collective consciousness and to be a member of that group that is bringing greater peace and deep inner happiness inside the consciousness of the community. Meanwhile, we have to behave with happiness and with compassion as well, not to feel in any way arrogant. Compassion is extremely important at this time of the social needs of the world, but mainly to develop our own inner strength. Strength is the solution from inside. More strength from inside is the solution to almost every situation in life. That, combined with compassion and a natural contact with that deep inner field of bliss, the supreme inner contentedness of our own quietest state of consciousness. I'll leave you with those thoughts for the moment, and please do stay tuned, because we're going to have more opportunities for discussion, and questions can be answered, and actually it's an opportunity for all of us to do lots of deep inner reflection and learn more about the nature of consciousness. Thank you for listening. Jai Guru Deva.